Happy Friday. Welcome to another edition of Before You Weekend. Ellen, Calvin, and myself have the privilege of being your pilots and making sure you land the end of the week perfectly.
But it is what it was, hand.
That's an intro. I am actually proud of myself. Damn it! That was good.
I think a lot of people are like, what we should be saying to them is like, but did you die? Because to have us as pilots landing anything, anywhere, don't trust.
But if we land in them at the end of the week, I think it's a cool landing. Like, you're going to land laughing. And now, if you're going to a Braai on Saturday, you actually have things to talk about. Because who hates Braais where you have nothing to talk about? And now you're going to go, oh, the weather. Oh, I think the voice is right.
That's a Braai I'm probably not at. Like, I always go to Braai.
I've never been to such.
And now you act like you're the life of the party. Like, you know what? Because before you weekend,
What do you
educated
guys
me.
think about?
You guys still rate Braais, though? Like,
Oh,
is that like a
yes.
whole
Oh,
rate to chat?
definitely.
I haven't been to a Braai since the last Braai. I think it was February or Jan with you and Michael.
Wait, we Braai.
That was the
Let's
last
have another one
time
so
I
can
had a
come,
group
'cause
Braai.
that one I didn't make.
Do you know what? Like, everybody's like, I don't like Braai. Like, I've hung my whole Braai master thing, whatnot. No ways. Do you know, like, you leave your house looking good, smelling good. Like, you're gonna go
Okay, so
stand by
what you're saying
smoke.
is you just don't want to
Nah, I'm finna.
shwa.
No.
Okay, so if somebody else is shwaing, then?
No, I'm there. That's why I didn't do it the last time. I got Michael.
I
to
don't
do
have a
it.
problem with Braai.
I do.
But that's the whole thing. Like, that's the whole thing. Like, to
Is
be
it
within the smell of the...
Is it really though?
I mean, yes, actually.
It's really. So you are going to a Braai with people to go be within the
No,
smell.
no, okay, guys, pause. Camera's here. This is the same guy who likes hiking.
Yeah, I love hiking.
He will say for his birthday, we are going hiking. We're going to sweat.
Yeah, makes sense.
But I
I'll-
won't Braai and smell like smoke.
Yeah,
No.
actually, you
No.
are not making any sense right
I'm
now.
making absolute sense.
No, you go and hike, you sweat, you smell of the outside, the elements.
Yes.
Ne? Onkhalitsaidzi, which is
Yes.
the worst thing ever, because we know.
To the what? You smell like the sun.
You
You smell like
guys,
the sun.
you guys are not.
But you don't wanna go
listening
to the-
what
the
I'm
gears.
saying.
There's something in smelling like you just came from a Braai.
That's so much better than
Absolutely
smelling like
not.
sweat.
Nope. There's something
There's
nice
no
about
comparison.
smelling like the cologne that I bought.
If someone
It cost me a
comes
lot of
into
money.
agreement like, and they come from wherever, and I smell smoke, I go, "Oh, you had fun." Versus, where are you from? What did
Nah.
Don't you bath?
My whole thing is, here's my thing. I have nothing against you people, Braai.
You people.
I
He
have
just
nothing
said
against
you
that.
people.
Like,
do?
y'all
You
can-
mean us, you
y'all-
blacks?
Relax.
I can do your thing. You know, I can do
Shuck
it.
and jive.
But
Because it has to be charcoal as well. I mean, it's all good and well to have the whole gas thing and, have that going. But there must be, yabo.
I go to Braai's for the meat, for the actual food.
Ugh, guys,
Why,
it's-
how are you going to a whole Braai to smell like smoke? What is that?
So you're
Where
saying,
are you
shut up
going
and make the
after?
food, nigga.
Nah, make a call, get the meat on the table, then we all
Call me when the
eat
food's
and-
ready.
Yeah.
But whoever's there
definitely.
is smelling of a Braai.
Why? Why am I
And
supposed to
then,
smell
here's
like
the thing.
smoke?
Profound. When you go home, you shower, you get off the Braai smell, and then you're smelling all fresh and nice for wherever you're going afterwards. See, check.
Ma'am, I'm not even going anywhere after. That's location one. Location one, it's the main location.
So
if you're going to a Braai. You go home.
So we're not doing like the Lokshin kind of thing where we're going to Braai's or we're going to Chisanyama kind of thing. It's just not your thing.
What do you
because
mean
now
location way? Anyway. If I'm back home, like we're doing it for sure. But back home is because dog. Like we're Braaiing during the day, dog.
Will you ever do a one-man Braai?
What's one man Braai?
Like, we're just at home, and instead of
No.
cooking
I
with the
find that
smart.
very sad.
No.
I find it
I
sad.
actually like, maybe it's because I like being by
That's
myself.
sad.
I've done it like 1 or 2 times. Like,
Okay,
oh,
it's not
nice.
sad.
Maybe it's because I like the smell of
No, it's sad.
I know somebody that
meat
that
on
like
fire.
that.
Smells so nice.
I get that.
That are like, oh, I just want to smell it again. I don't need people for that feeling.
No, that was just the government that forced me to do that because there's no electric. So then you have to now start the Braai. But I don't want it. It's sad. The whole thing about a Braai is having people come over. It's getting people together. It's the festivities. It's the hears. It's the memories.
But the Rugby World Cup's over. You're going to wait another 4 years?
We are South Africa. This is what we do in J on the general. It's the weekend, so we're Braaiing.
My whole thing is you shower, you put on your nice ass clothes, you put on your nice ass cologne for you to go stand by smoke.
You're not supposed to dress up for a
What
Braai.
are you dressing up for? You
What-
put on a
what
t-shirt,
y'all
you put on
mean?
jeans, you put on sneakers, you go.
Absolutely
What you want?
not.
Shorts, nyana.
That sounds
Show
like
your knees.
that sounds
Okay,
like,
guys.
That sounds like Sipo on the side of the road. That ain't happening. No,
Okay, please
thank
help
you.
us solve this argument and address Calvin.
People on the side of the road.
That's not happening.
I don't want to address the
Mazulu.
racism in
Did
the
you
room.
hear what the guy said? He
Yeah,
just said
nah,
Nina
I'm just-
Mazulu.
Don't be sending cows to my house. I don't say Zulus.
This one said Nina Mazulu.
Okay.
Ninuki Ntutu. 24/7.
Oh, that's terrible. What's up, guys?
Just grab a cup, you're watching before your weekend. 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 Hey, you're watching before your weekend. Hey.
So I asked the question about 2 weeks ago and asked people, and I want to ask you guys, are there traits, habits, or characteristics you inherited from your parents that you wish you didn't? I wouldn't lie. When I was kind of
you said
scared
yes.
of asking that question
Yeah.
because in my head I thought people aren't gonna own up to that, and to my surprise, it had this is the weirdest thing. It had the lowest engagement. Sorry, it had the lowest view count, but the highest engagement. I've never experienced it. Normally, when I get like a lot of responses, it's because the numbers are up.
Yeah.
But the numbers weren't where it regularly is, but everyone responded. Like, no, I actually have an answer for
Yeah.
this. And I think it's maybe because everyone connects it. Like, yeah, we all have things we don't like that we can connect. Like, that's where I got that from.
Yeah.
So my dad has this thing where my dad's like super quiet. So like if you know me, like I speak when I need to speak type of vibe. My dad is absolutely
Your dad's
that.
very quiet.
Like he's absolutely that. But now the kind of like a bit of the negative trait about it is that it extends into his engagement with like my mother
Yeah.
type of thing. Where it's like they'll get into like a whole disagreement or whatever. My dad won't say anything. So I used to do that. It's something I had to be conscious that I started doing.
Sorry, pause as you continue
Yeah.
answer. Before, my impression, not impression, I guess impression with your dad was I thought none of us will ever get to see that. I thought only your mom will get to see a different side.
Nah,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I get what
Yeah.
you're saying. Yeah. Nah. So, sorry, let me actually say it like this. Yes and no. So, there is the other side of my dad that you'll only see in the house. So, my dad, that same guy you've met, my dad is funny as hell. Like, my dad is funny, bro. But you'll only see that in-house.
Yeah.
You won't see that in general public settings. But then this element is like, I picked up on that at some stage, I think just in relationships. I was like, yo, when we get into a thing, like I do this thing where,
Yeah.
and I'm like, wait, this looks familiar. And then this one time also my mom said something and it just triggered. It's like, yo, you're just like your dad, da-da-da-da. And I'm just like, nope, I don't like that. Nah. Because I mean, there's like certain things like you just don't want to take as traits type of thing. And that was one of the, but I actively then worked on that to be like, in my engagements in relationships, to be a lot more engaging, to say whether good or bad, just say how you feel. Say something. Just don't say anything. Yeah. So I had to learn that actually. Yeah.
You know?
It's traumatic, man. What you started. It's traumatic because I see how I'm doing it to my kids. And I remember once looking at my mother and saying, never would I treat my children like this. My mother we'd get into a disagreement. She's unhappy at something that we did, whatever. And she would mumble the whole night through. You wake up, and she used to smoke. So she would be up at like 2 a.m. and she's still talking about that thing. You can still hear, yeah, and these children, you don't listen to me. And so she will hold on to something. She will get onto something and she'll hold on to that thing. And she's talking about it all the time. She looks at you and she's like, yeah, because what.
Yo, black friends
And I
be
do
doing
that to my kids.
Oh, hectic.
Another thing that I do is she would talk about death a lot. And it's the most morose, most morbid, not even morose,
Yeah.
it's just a morbid thing to do. And why would you do that to kids? You know, your children don't want to think about the day where you are no longer on this earth.
Yeah, I feel you.
And the day that I die, I don't know how you guys are gonna, my daughter walks out every single time. She's like, you're starting again. You're really starting. Because now that is my chat. Like, one day I'm not going to
You
be
do
here
that, Ellen?
anymore. I do.
Why are you doing that?
I don't know. I wish I could.
Did you find yourself doing that recently, or this is what you've been doing?
She's probably been doing it. I only realized now because her older daughter's just like, you know what?
Oh no, it's come with age.
Yeah.
The whole, also because I've lost important people, a very important person, like when my life changed as I had once known, and not just mine, but everybody's. But
Yeah.
at the age of 40, he turned 40 and he passed away like 2 weeks after, or a week after.
It's crazy.
So as I reached 40, for me that was, I didn't see anything. There's nothing after 40 for me. You know, I couldn't see anything after 40. So for me, I was always afraid of turning 40. And then you make it over, but then now you see how your peers are all going and, you know, that kind of thing. So it's always a conversation for me. It's always a conversation where I'm like, one day I'm not going to be here. And then the thing that I've been telling you guys, that it can be something silly. Like the other day, my son left the stove on and he forgot to turn it off. Yeah, one day I'm not going to be here. So one day you're going to leave the
That's not
stove
silly.
on.
That's not silly.
And
That's
then-
worth having.
I mean, yes, but it comes into almost every kind of disagreement, conversation, kind of, yeah, but one day I'm not going to be here. And I don't know who's going to teach you how to make eggs. So I'm just saying, you know, that kind of
I
thing.
want to hold on to something you said. Are you essentially saying you didn't see yourself making a 240, or you just didn't see what that would look like when you hit 40?
I didn't see what life looked like after 40 because
It's interesting.
there wasn't really, and yes, there were people that around me that were way past that age, but because of the trauma of that death, the sudden trauma, you know, of that death, that I was just like, after 40, then what? The other day, I have an injury to my eye, and I'm slowly losing sight in my left eye. And periodically, out of the blue, the blood vessels will burst, right? So I've got a very bloody red eye. But now, to make it worse, I had an argument with somebody, and I don't cry, but that day I was really frustrated, and I started crying. And as I was wiping my tears, there was blood.
In your left eye.
Oh my! Not just in the eye where nothing comes up, but in the tears.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. The two.
I thought I'm going. I need my children to come back home from school because I'm now going, you know. And it was just, yeah, man. There's just certain things that is brought on because you've been around it so much. Like you might not. It might not be who you are, like a very quiet kind of person. It might just be because you've been around your dad and that's who you emulate. Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah.
But sometimes, like, it's just trauma, you know. And then you start thinking about death a whole lot more because now you have reached an age where people start going a lot more, and you're going through stuff, man. Things hurt in places that shouldn't be hurting anymore.
Yeah,
so you think
exactly.
about stuff.
Damn. I didn't expect it to, maybe that's why. I didn't expect it to take that kind of turn.
But it is that, like, you know, when you're speaking about like what you're catching from your parents. Hey, bro.
I think at the same time, and I'm not even trying to like credit myself, it kind of forces you to finally put a mirror on you because you're judging the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Then, oh, the government, oh, politics, oh, elections, oh, my kids. It's like,
Yeah.
no, wait, actually, but what are your weaknesses?
That's what
Can we talk about that? Let's bring that to the table. Like I know for me, growing up, I was very stubborn. I got saved. I became even more stubborn. I chased people away.
Because Jesus was flipping tables now. So now
I
you
won't lie.
decided.
I scared people away from Christianity. I remember the first time I did like a cell group. There was an Indian girl in the classroom, and she put her hand up. T, I want to know. So you're telling me if I stay Indian, I'm going to hell? I was like, yeah. So as I was saying, and I continued with the message.
That was
Gone. She left. She never came back. And with that stubbornness, I continued. I was like, I was arrogant to think, oh, there is no other way to engage with people and learn from each other and have this exchange of information or experience. I had to unlearn that, and I think I got that from my dad because it was like it's this way or no other way.
It's crazy.
And I think me and my dad still have a lot of back and forth. I think now it's like, oh, he's realizing, no, I'm not 16.
yeah.
It's different now. I'm not asking you for money, so
Yeah.
there's no the playing ground is level now.
Yeah. Have you found that interesting? Like have you watched the your engagement with your father change
the evolution
over time as you get older, as certain things come into place. You're working now, you're making money, you have a family now.
the understanding of where he was coming from.
Oh, that's interesting.
I think not even like that per se, like just even, I think even just off surface, your guys' interaction, like, has that changed? And,
that's a very interesting
and what's your perspective on how the changes happen?
I'm saying that that's interesting because if I have to be like transparent or vulnerable here, I have more grace for people than I have for my father.
That's interesting.
So like, and you guys already know how curious I'm about stuff. So I'll ask and I'll prod until I hear like, let me hear what's really going on in your mind and heart. But my mind goes, when I speak to my dad, it's like, okay, you don't want to learn. So I have to stop the conversation here. We have nothing to learn from each other. Stop it now. So I don't think our conversations have progressed or matured in any way. And that's, in my head, it's because I'm prepared to grow, but the other party's not.
Yeah, which is
so it's like, okay, so we have nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
Or you don't want to talk about, like for me, my thing is the best conversations come up when you are okay with talking about your failures. If you're still celebrating your successes from the 80s or 70s, we have nothing to talk about. Show me where you failed so I can know where I should not fail.
It's good.
If you tell me about your successes which are irrelevant to the society we live in now, there's no conversation.
Yeah.
It's easy to go, I became the first business person in the 80s because there were no businesses in the township.
Yeah.
It's not a celebration.
That's good.
Now you've got 10,000 businesses being registered on CIPC every week or every month. That's not. Let's factor it into this society. So I haven't seen growth yet. Hopefully it will change.
I think I'm asking that, because like from my perspective, it's that I've watched, which is so crazy. I've watched my father acknowledge, or I've watched my father see me as a man. And that's been interesting.
The way you phrase it sounds beautiful, though.
Because I'm his son.
Yeah.
I'll forever be his son. Doesn't matter of age. Right? But I've watched him acknowledge that I'm a man. And when it happens in the room when we're having conversation, and I'm like, okay, Dad, I hear you. But this is what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. And he pauses and in my head, I'm just like, yo, my dad just paused. Like, now I need to say something. I've watched that happen. It's been the most interesting. It's kind of been one of the most.
So you're at a place where he's actually prepared to listen and go, okay, let me hear you again.
Yeah. Also, I am my father's son. So my father is very opinionated, and not just because he likes to hear the sound of his voice, but he consumes a lot of information. I get the same. I get it from him. My dad consumes all types of information. That's a whole thing. So I know when I get home, he's either listening to music or watching current affairs. Yeah, that's the only two things he does. Dope. So we're able to engage on an array of like subjects, right? So when you're younger, it's less, but now it's like you're older, and he's probably picked up on the fact that I consume information at that level too. Yeah. So now it's like. So I think maybe on a few occasions he's kind of been caught out a little bit to be like, oh no, that's just actually doesn't work like that. Yeah. This is how that works, and it's like, oh snap, So, as opinionated he is, I'm also the same. So it's like it's that he's like, okay, my son has a lot to say as well. So now over time, because I do say stuff that's not out of pocket, he gives me the space to speak or whatever. It's just very interesting.
Is it anything you inherited from your mom?
Like my mom is a whole creative, by actual fact. So I took a lot of that from her. Yeah. Dad's also creative, but like mom is expressive, if I can put it that way. So she's expressive about like how she dresses, like all of that type of stuff. So I got that. I realized as I got older that I got that from her actually.
That's very interesting. Speaking of which, I haven't seen your fits in a while. I don't know if you just haven't been posting. Or because that was something that it's cotton faced, and then I'm like, he's gonna wear something interesting.
Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm not on Instagram actually like that. I've just changed how I do life right now. Like
We must talk.
Yeah, so the last time I
Yeah.
posted, I think was like last year.
Yeah, it was last year. It was a while back.
So
That's
that's
interesting.
just, it's intentional. It's not by mistake.
Is there anything that you do by mistake? Ever?
No,
Gee,
really, there's
exactly.
very few things that I don't intentionally do. Yeah, I'm not. Social media is weird. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like I've got a love-hate with social
Yeah.
media. A love-hate relationship with social media. So right now it's just like just regulating that, because like also like real life things happen. You're so tapped into social media. Now you want to kind of express how you're feeling in real life and what's happening onto social media. And I'm just like, yeah. And look, to each his own for
Yeah.
sure. And especially if you're making money off the platform, please go do your thing. Continue
Yeah.
doing your thing. Which I am, and that's kind of like just my
Yeah,
weird
yeah.
pocket about it. Like it's also connected to work in a way. But yeah, man, social media is just social media. Yeah,
I'm
but
totally
anyway.
opposite. I will on WhatsApp, not on anything else. On WhatsApp, I
Yeah.
will just let people know that. Yeah, it's difficult.
I think WhatsApp has become a big one on the
Yeah.
basis of it's people that have your number. You know?
Exactly.
And I kind of was considering the WhatsApp conversation, but like my WhatsApp is a bit of a mess. I've got to mix. Everybody's got my number
Yeah,
and type of thing, just because like work,
yeah.
you know. So, but yes, I've
You
seen.
can block the people that you want on there.
That's so much admin.
I wish they
don't have
they
time
had
for
like a
that.
close friends one, not just a these one can view and these can't. I need them to have a these ones can view, but then on top of that they must have a close friends, because there's other stuff that I want to say that these not everybody here can see.
I think from what you're saying, what would be cool, what sounds like what would be cool is if you could, maybe you can, I don't know,
Yeah.
like you could create subgroups. I don't know, something like that. So like, because you have you selecting like your close friends,
Yeah, yeah.
but then you could create like another group and be like, okay, this is this group, and then these are the people in this group. Then it's like their group. So then depending
And
on
then
the piece of
post
content.
on the group.
No, so depending on so this is not necessarily like a WhatsApp group.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's just like it's the group that can see like this. So
Yeah.
when you're posting,
what you're
all you
saying.
do is select the group that's gonna see this piece of content.
Exactly. That's what I want.
Right?
all
That's what
I
it sounds
want.
like you're saying.
That's all I want, because
think-
there's some
I think
hectic
that
stuff that I
sounds
need to say
cool.
sometimes, and it's not for everybody.
Everybody.
Not even the parents. I'm just talking everybody. No, people shouldn't know. So yeah, we were talking about
so
the
what is it? Yeah, what
characteristics
you've
or traits that you've
from
inherited.
parents. Yeah. What
Yeah.
are the responses that TK got?
One was not showing emotion, the whole men don't cry thing, and this person said that they are unlearning that.
Yeah.
And that is
that's a
something that I
big
really,
one.
really. But also, I've been having a conversation with another gent. I need to have conversations with different groups of people. So he is Zulu. So what I'm learning about the Zulu nation is that they've got a very much of a warrior spirit.
Yeah.
So they're more affiliated with the men don't cry, and that's just that,
Yeah.
kind of thing. But I really wish that men found an avenue where they could cry and let things out, and because clearly it's not happening when you're sitting alone in your apartment and nobody's there to witness it. Where you can cry, they're still not doing it because it's being expressed in other ways. So I just wish that there was.
You know what the crazy thing is? The crazy thing, fun fact, is that when guys are alone, they do cry.
Okay.
Yes. That's more common than the
Then
actual
not.
theory.
Yeah.
It's just that publicly, you don't do that. You don't do it even in the room where you quote unquote are supposed to.
Yeah. Yeah.
But most that follow a theory like that, when they by themselves completely, as in, I'm here by myself for the next 24 to 48 hours, most likely they do. It's just that they'll never say they did.
What's worrying me is that if this person is saying that that's a trait that they got from their father, and I'm
Yeah.
assuming, and I'm now thinking of the demographic that tunes into Before You Weekend.
Yeah.
It's a younger group of people, So it's still carrying on. It didn't end somewhere and we're just getting rid of the residual effect of it now. It's still happening. Parents are still telling their children. I can say that with my kid's dad, where he tells my son that don't cry.
Yeah.
He doesn't even say, here's the place where you can cry.
Yeah.
It's just don't, and that's that, and see how to get out of your situation. But
I know that, and I had to like just fully comprehend that. Like, my dad comes from like a background like that.
Yeah.
My dad shows very like emotions wise, that's like a scarcity
Yeah.
situation, and because he's my father and off relationships or off our relationship, excuse me, and probably through my mother as well, I get to understand what means what.
yeah,
Like if this happens, this is what it actually means, type of thing. But to a certain degree, I almost caught that, and then I kind of learned a bit better.
yeah,
And I've then taught my brother different, So
Yeah.
I've created a safe space for my brother because I didn't have that space.
yeah.
I didn't have that space to just, to just cry
That's
because
beautiful.
things are hectic and
Yeah.
I feel under pressure, or I'm not okay. I don't feel okay. Blah blah blah. So I've got moments where I sit with my brother and we're having certain conversations, and whether he looks like he's about to cry, whatever, and I'm just like, bro, cry, dog.
Yeah.
It's okay, because it doesn't mean what society makes it out to mean. And that's my big issue with even the whole how Zulu Nation or people like that
Yeah.
equate a warrior to somebody that's emotionless. How does that even
Yeah.
work out? Because to a certain degree, you need to be even empathetic, you need to feel for people to be able to protect people,
Yes.
or
Yes.
represent people. How are you doing that when you don't feel for them? So for us to have a Shaka Zulu image and say he was a warrior and he didn't show emotion, that's not true.
Yeah.
That's actually a misconception, because you had to care for the people to fight for the people.
That's interesting.
You
What
know?
about now things like spending habits, where we're moving away from I grew up poor and etc. etc. What about watching your parents and their spending habits, whether good or bad, and then you emulate that? You didn't need to. You didn't come from lack. But you are operating in a way that it seems like you just need to spend everything, because what if it disappears, and you get it from your parents? Do you think that that's also like a thing?
Yeah.
Maybe not with understanding on how they had done it or why they did it, but now you just happen to be in the same boat.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I probably have that from a perspective of being conscious of
Yeah.
conscious spending.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I get that from my mother.
Okay.
She's very conscious on spending. She's very, strategic planning, all of that. And then the splurging, as we would,
Yeah.
I think would be the right word to use. That's like, it's got loops. It happens like once in a while.
Yeah.
Like we used to do the whole Friday takeouts thing,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And then we didn't. But I understood and knew why we didn't.
Yeah.
So I literally follow the same matrix. Like, if we're good, we'll do the Friday
Yeah,
takeaways.
yeah.
If we're not, we don't do that. Do you get what I'm saying? So I get what you're saying, and I believe in it. Like,
Yeah.
whether good or bad, I think you do pick up on that.
What's interesting now is that I've noticed how my daughter is teaching me
Interesting.
to stop doing things. Like my mom, you could go to her and ask for whatever. She'll make a plan for you. She didn't want her kids, people around her, to struggle, to go through, whatever pains and stuff. And she would take her last. And that's how she taught us, that you don't turn away family, you don't turn away people who are looking up to you, right? So I did that, and I do it to my detriment. Like I've got nothing. But you asked me for R2, and that's my last one, and then I'll give my R2. So I remember how, like, I think I was on a call, somebody was asking for a favor financially, whatever, and I'm now considering it. I'm listening to it because I never hold the phone to my ear. It's always on speaker. And she popped her head in, and she gave me a look. She didn't say anything. She just gave me a look. And I was like, sorry, I can't help. I'm sorry. I don't have the money.
Like, are you finna?
Are you just gonna...
Because you've been quiet for long. I've been listening, trying to hear your response, and you ain't responding.
You're not declining this request.
Yeah.
And as soon as I put down the phone, she's like, you're starting again. Because you know that people take advantage of you. And you just can't say no. So I'm like, well, you must help me. I don't know how to, like, how do I say no if somebody's in need? And she's like, we are in need. Stop with that. And I'm like, okay, I get it. So I've got to channel her when it comes to just being overextensive with my finances towards other people, and even in relationships. She'll give me the same look on some, you don't need to put up with that, right? Move on. And you see the reason why you must have closer daughters.
It's interesting.
They don't
How do you
take
feel about
nonsense.
your daughter calling you out?
I think because we've moved into, the boundaries definitely are there, that I'm her mother and she's my daughter. So it's definitely there. She doesn't, I mean, sometimes she just tries to dip a toe. But we friends, man. And somebody here at the studio said, you guys are like friends. And I'm like, yeah, she actually is my friend. There's stuff that she doesn't need to know, especially relationship-wise. But she definitely talks to me about certain things where do not, again, in your life.
So I told the viewers, right? So TK is back. So I told the viewers that you went to go feed the baby, right?
Yeah.
So the baby was crying. And
Yeah,
you quickly had
let's
to
go
go
then.
and just drive through, put the baby to sleep type thing. Now you're back because the baby's sleeping.
Family first.
Family first, okay?
Yeah,
The
First
whole
example.
lactating drive-through.
Of family.
Lactating drive-through.
Pampers,
That's what he
you
said.
kid, family first, okay? You love
Fast and
Pampers.
Furious, I'm ready.
Wow.
One more movie,
La
just one more.
Familia.
Wow.
So I was actually asking her how she feels about like her daughter calling her out, because I think that's interesting, and I like the fact that you said that you have a friendship, you've built a friendship
Yeah.
with your daughter, and with the right parameters of mother-daughter relationship as well, because I think that does make a difference, also in the sense that like the communication and what you get told and things like that. Yeah, but that's such a foreign concept. Yo.
Within a relationship, she's become the. Also because I just had kids young, so she's become the motherly figure, right? So, a guy that I was dating, he spoke to her. So they've got a really great relationship, and then he's like, okay, so tell me about, and they've got this whole thing going there on the side. I'm like, okay, so what you say? Like, sort of like how friends would do it. Like, you're sitting, you're like, okay, did you tell me nice? You said the right things and whatever. And she's like, chill, just chill. You need to like pull back on this and that. I said this and that. There's stuff that I don't know.
That's crazy.
No, for real.
That
for
sounds
real.
like a
And
beautiful relationship.
Yo, that's crazy.
It is. You just have to be very wary of how you navigate it.
Script writers, assemble.
Where are you going with this one?
I'm just hearing your story. Continue. I'm writing.
Yeah, I think it's dope.
No, but definitely, they've got a really beautiful relationship that happened organically. It wasn't I want you to meet my children, because I don't want people to meet my kids. It was just it just happened that they.
So what happens when you and this guy are no more?
are no more. That's the thing about my daughter. It depends on how we are no more. She wants to know exactly, so what did you do? Because she doesn't say, oh, so he must have. She says, what did you do again?
Okay, cool. Let's say, you did what... Yeah.
Sorry, can I butt in?
Yeah.
Where did this come from? How did we get to
Traits
this?
and characteristics, and how she's teaching me a whole lot of stuff now. Instead of she's learning stuff from me.
Oh, okay.
I'm learning a whole lot from her.
From her as well.
Yes.
But like, if you're in a situation and that situation ends,
Yeah.
I think like it doesn't even matter how it ends. She keeps the relationship.
I haven't
With the
been.
gent.
I haven't been in a relationship where it ended and they had met, and
Okay.
now. So I don't know what that looks like as yet.
Okay.
But knowing her, she's got a very good head on her shoulders.
Okay.
So I don't think that the relationship will carry on as it is, but she definitely isn't going to be on my side just for the sake of being on my side.
Because we don't want to like a Diddy and
No.
Quincy
Me,
Jones situation.
I'm.
Not Quincy
That-
Jones,
that
Quincy,
frustrated me.
Quincy and the other boy. What's I just forgot the name. The third son.
Kristen,
Yeah.
Kristen,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
That frustrated me because in my head, and maybe I'm wondering, I do wonder, had I not been a parent, would my view be different? If you're involved in crime or dodgy stuff, you'll do whatever it takes to make sure the kid doesn't get involved in the same.
Yeah.
I'm a bit confused to go read the news and hear, oh, the sons are doing. There's a son who sexually assaulted someone on your yard. Like, if I'm involved in dodgy stuff, I'm gonna move you. I probably want you with the mother. Yes, I got the money, so I'll send you the money. But if I like the person I am, I can't have you be that person for the sake of trying to blaze a new avenue. And it's confusing that Diddy was okay with that. I'm not trying to judge him. I'm just trying to get an understanding. Why would you be okay with?
Yeah, I'm judging
your kids?
I
Yes.
definitely am.
Go there.
I am, because I'm like, that's wild.
It's like, well, let's take the worst one we know, Pablo Escobar.
Yeah.
Cool. He made sure his son doesn't get involved.
Yeah.
And even when you hear his son go to these TV shows and he talks about his dad, he says, yes, he was a criminal. He killed thousands of police. He knows all this stuff.
Yeah.
He says, but
When he
came home, he was a father. I can see that stuff's bad. That's what he's essentially saying. I can acknowledge all this is bad, but I can say in my experience when it was with me, I didn't get the criminal. I got the father. And I'm wondering, you had all the money in the world. You couldn't come home and be a father. You wanted to be a superstar with your kids. That's what I don't understand.
It depends on the type of person. When
Yeah.
my son was very, very young, I'm sure it was like his first birthday party. I remember how my ex's, I think at the time, best friend said, "Khula boy, so that we can teach you the ropes." And all the people that have been listening and watching before you, we can know that, cheatering has been happening, right? As the father. The friend is even worse, And I would say that is not what I'm allowing my child to get into. You're a woman, you don't understand. Men need to teach the sons how to. But that's how it starts. Because khula, so I can teach you how to, right?
Yeah.
And then you find that boys are getting into situations that they shouldn't be getting into. Women would approach a little boy, he's only 13 or he's 16 or whatever, and somebody way older is now approaching and saying that, no, I'm just teaching you so that when you, and because they've been hearing it over and over and over again in their circle of friends, it should be okay to be intimate with this woman because I need to learn. They don't teach that with the daughters, right? Just like Diddy, we're not too sure where the reach went or what or how they were influenced. The daughters were influenced, but the sons, definitely, it was sort of like that thing of, no, come in, boys. They're passing and they're like, no, come and see. That kind of thing. So it's an either or.
Is that what he did?
situation.
That thing is crazy. No, she's just making
No,
an
no, I'm
example
just
to say
saying.
like that's kind of like how it possibly
Yeah.
goes. But I think it's just so crazy because maybe for Diddy also the era is when you're trying to stay young by all means, because he had this thing the whole time. He never wanted to be old or OG or whatever. He never wanted that position in the ecosystem or social structure. So he was always, yo, I'm young, I'm this, I'm that. Hence why he had his own works done to his body, etc., where that's concerned. So I'm saying that to say you can just already imagine how he then gets involved in the boys' lives to kind of cultivate this I'm young factor or character even. That, because I'm just like, how do you even go as far as getting involved with your son's ex? You see, like, what is even the conversations and dynamics of the household relationship for that to even transpire?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, we would. I know it's public information now that
Yeah.
Diddy's father was Frank Lucas's friend.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we can hear that, but nothing in your head goes. The history of Frank Lucas. Frank Lucas is public. You
Yeah.
want to be tied to that? Cool, fine. You can be tied to that. You want your kids to be tied to that? Into 2024? You don't want to uproot certain behaviors or cultures or norms? No, this is not how. Because I feel like even the way Hollywood frames their family comedy movies or whatever, at the core of who we are, we all resonate with the family we're all trying to create or family trying to have. And none of Diddy's behavior resembles that because he has enough money to do that.
Yeah.
To go, we're not this. This is the trail we're going to blaze. And it's like...
Look,
dude.
I think just the biggest issue was Diddy himself. Like, just him as a human. So completely flawed. Like, where you're just stuck almost like in a time capsule somewhere. You're just stuck, bro. You know, and you're 6 kids down the line and you're still stuck at this place. You know, so I think that becomes the error where then you just, like I say, you're trying to live this whatever through then. Or with like as if, you know? Yeah. So it's like, it's just completely terrible, that situation.
And then on that, there's this thing of trying to make up for lost time, and which is, I don't think his case, but like with me, I was one of the worst mothers because of what I was enduring in my marriage. I took it out on the kids. So once that was done, I'm trying to now make up for...
That's the quote for the thumbnail.
Make up for lost time. And then they're like, we don't feel like eating XYZ today. We want takeouts. And I got to do that because they want takeouts. And they see this sneak and it's like, let me go and get it. Because I'm trying to make up for everything that I put them through way back when, you know. So you've got to now eventually get over it. You've got to have a chat to yourself and say, okay, look, I can't be giving them all of this because it's just making it worse.
Sorry, has this whole episode been on the responses on this on this question?
Yeah.
Damn.
I know, right? Like
that is.
We just had a whole conversation on that.
That is exactly why you said that the engagement has been hectic. It's that traumatic.
Yeah, it's like because it brings up a whole bunch of
stuff.
Because it's different dynamics. But like you said, the main thing was like you kind of look at yourself. Just be like, snap.
I kind of want to hear the problems of like really rich privileged kids, because I want to hear how different could it possibly be. I don't think it's too different.
No.
But I want to hear like details, like in their view. And I think I don't know you that well. We're still learning, but like from the world we come from, we know a few people from Centurion. Yeah. I want to hear those people's, and I'm trying to figure out how do I call and go, yo, what did you deal with? You know your family. You know your family.
I think that's just, it just gets covered very well.
Yes.
More than anything. I do think that they either deal with same, if not darker.
They've got vices that.
Yeah, because like the whole Diddy thing, if you go into it, it's like it's that. It's like it's just how did it get so dark?
Okay, but now we're posing a new question though. Does privilege make the problem
Ask the
worse?
question.
Does privilege make the problem worse? Whether you come from privilege or whether you witnessed friends with privilege, what does it look like for you? What did you see? Because I think we think people from privilege shouldn't experience what we experience. Maybe psychologically it's like, okay, we can experience the same things.
Yeah.
But access-wise, we're going, no, but you shouldn't be thinking like that.
Yes.
Or the idea or the way you view or value money should be a whole lot further than what I could imagine.
For sure.
But I remember dealing with rich kids, hearing like one random white rich kid going, oh yeah, but yeah, my Beats headphones died or broke. It's only 2,000 Rand. What do you mean it's only 2,000 Rand? You can't say that in Tembisa. You can't say that in Kailicha.
Facts.
So it's like, that's an interesting way. Where did you learn to be able to speak like that? Why do you have the confidence to speak like that with money you didn't earn?
Yeah.
We used to get told if you left just a couple of grains on your plate, the children in Ethiopia are starving. I say that to my children, and they were like, excuse me, hold on. The economy, I was like, when we were little, we just took it. In Somalia, they are starving. Just take it and stop wasting food. Children will give you facts that no, actually, it's in this country. And I'm like, oh my God.
It would be hilarious if they go, actually, there's a poorer country. You're misinformed.
That's funny.
Guys, I think we're over time. Again.
Probably. How much is that?
47 minutes.
Yeah, let's clock it.
Yeah, but we
Man,
were good.
it was good.
Okay, there's something that I actually wanted to bring up, which is so interesting, and I'm surprised that it's only happening, I guess, down the line now. Ster Kinekor is closing more cinemas now, right?
Huh?
Yeah. Yes, they've recently closed. I think about 9 or something like that.
Because it's streaming.
That's what I'm thinking now. Like, for me, I thought it was gonna happen earlier.
No, I thought they were going to be around.
Why would you think that?
I think
Because remember, the order is, Mr. Video went down.
yes, yeah.
Video
And
did
then
out.
I can see why streaming took
Do
over
you get what I'm
that.
saying? Like,
But not for cinema.
why not?
There are some movies you can't put on Netflix that force you to get out the house
Yeah.
and go watch.
But then what's the turnaround? In America,
Yeah, what's the
it's released,
percentage of that?
It's released this Friday. We only receive it in December. So
I-
if they can close that gap, they would not need to
She
shut
said
down.
December.
No, but that's it. It's way too much time for us to start bootlegging because we already saw that they advertised Hore, Fast and Furious 11 is coming out. But now I've got to wait until December to watch it. But America already watched it.
So this has been my challenge with what you're saying.
Yeah.
I would love to see a movie director say, I've made a movie, this is not being distributed anywhere. It's going to be in these cinemas, and when it's done, it's done. I understand the money, the
When it's
business
done,
game.
it's done.
Like, you don't see it. Like, it's almost like going to a play.
Yeah.
If you weren't there for the play, it's done. Like, you're going to just have to listen to everyone
But
talk
that's
about
how
it.
it was way back when, right? We
Yeah,
didn't have
but
Netflix.
but that's what I'm trying to say. Like,
yeah.
and I guess to what you're thinking, only a few
Yeah.
directors can do that.
Yeah.
So like a Jordan Peele can go, I've released another horror movie, only in 10 cinemas for these 3 weekends. After it's done, you can't go. I can imagine every cinema room with that movie being sold out every single time because you only have 4 viewings per day.
That the business of that makes no
100%.
sense.
The business
bro.
doesn't make sense because a movie will cost 50 million to make.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you make the 50 million? How do you at least make the 50 million back?
Unless the
in a month?
Kinekor can give you 100 and then say this is the campaign we're running.
But that's what I'm saying. I think a few people can go. I think Beyonce is at that place where she can go. I've chosen only 100 cinema houses to do this, and this is gonna go for a month. And the tickets are gonna be an exorbitant price. Some people can do that. A Spielberg can do that. A Jordan Peele can do that. A Beyonce can do that. I don't know who else can be part of that list. But I feel like some people can go, I'll make my money back like that. I feel like if we create the scarcity like that, people would come back to movies, come back to cinema houses.
Guys, Maverick City is coming to South Africa. I'm stressed already. I don't need that kind of stress.
I will only go to Maverick City if there's wine in Kirk Franklin.
If you get tickets, if you have access to tickets, I'm not asking for free. I'm asking to buy them because I'm not talking to this.
We
I'm
need
talking
red
to
wine
you.
and worship.
Right? If we can do that, please just let me know. I will buy them.
Okay, Maverick City is going where? Where are they performing?
Joburg.
Where?
We signed up.
Sunbed.
Hela, it doesn't matter. Just can you this time? I'm telling you here on Tusombedu's internet.
Sunbed's internet.
Teachers of Calvin, after she decided whose internet it is.
All right, now thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. This has been another episode. We appreciate you guys. Thank you for your love and support. Please like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel as well. Look out for any other new content that we're gonna be dropping. Follow us on Instagram as well. Engage with us. TK's got some branding questions for you guys to engage with as well. It's been another week, another Friday. Thank you so much. It's before your weekend where we speak about the week before it ends. One time, go to cinemas apparently so that you can save Ster Kinekor. Chap, one time.
You watching before you weekend.